being arrested and granted 20,000 Rand bail on this 86 million Rand blue lights tender. Well, to help us talk through some of these issues, I'm now joined by Dr. Johan Burger from the Institute of Security Studies. So thanks very much for joining us, and welcome to the program once again. I'm not sure where to start, because it seems, according to General Phahlane, that these cases are intertwined. What's happened in Parliament and also what's happened to him today. What do you make of this week's developments?
Good evening, Peter. Yeah, it's a messy business, you know, and I think it is extremely bad for the image of not just the police but the whole department. And I think it further undermines public trust and confidence in the police and the whole system around the department. You know, in 2012 already the National Development Plan referred to the the crisis of leadership in the South African Police Service. So when one looks at all of this, you know, just starting with Paul Sullivan, we know that he was instrumental in the investigation of corruption against Phahlane right from the beginning. We also know that he worked quite closely with IPIT during that investigation. So that relationship clearly exists to this day. And it is, I think, the letters that or emails he sent to Parliament or members of Parliament clearly is an extension of his support for someone like McBride. So we all, you know, we've seen from past experience, this is the way he operates. But whether that has anything to do with the rivalry, the battle between the minister and McBride is another matter. You know, there are questions to be asked. For example, the whole issue around the renewal of his contract should have been known to the Portfolio Committee and the Minister a long time ago. You know, at least sometime last year. They should have realized that they only have until the 28th of February to address this issue, but the Minister waited until 6 weeks before the expiry of that contract, before he informed McBride that it would not be renewed. And so it left the Portfolio Committee with very, very little time to properly debate and investigate the issues. For example, McBride, in his defense, said that many of the allegations against him were completely new. He didn't have enough time to properly prepare and respond to those. So one just get a very uncomfortable feeling that this thing was rushed through Parliament in the shortest possible time. So whether that is fair is, of course, a very, very good question. So what we now see with the arrest of Phahlane, and I mean, this did come as a surprise. We've known about the other allegations and investigations against him for a long time. Some of this has to do with the building of his home and allegations around corruption as far as that is concerned. His association with certain companies and allegations of receiving money in return for certain police tenders and so forth. But the current charge against him of being involved in the so-called blue light tender issue come as a surprise. We know at least four other generals were arrested sometime last year, I think in November. And his arrest today, along with General Phahlane, a day after Parliament took that decision not to renew the contract. It does look quite suspicious at this stage, I must say. But on the other hand, we do have to believe that IPIT knows much better than to arrest someone without a prima facie case or prima facie evidence of wrongdoing.
But it has happened before, hasn't it? Sadly, it has happened where people get arrested and later on it's found that there wasn't much evidence to support those arrests. But you know, Phahlane keeps on talking about this misuse of the office of IPID, and that McBride was declared not fit for office by Parliament. I'm not sure that that's what Parliament said, but again, you point to this timing of this arrest. Could it be that there is some kind of, I mean, the way Sullivan also speaks is also taking a personal look at this as well. Could there be a personal view that's being taken, even if they are doing their jobs in this whole saga?
Yeah, now, you know, this is a very interesting debate in the end, because we have, perhaps we do not have access to the information that the Minister has or that McBride has, and so on. Based on what we know, we have allegations on the one hand by the Minister of misconduct by McBride, and he actually referred to the incident where IPID made use of the services of a private investigator, clearly referring to O'Sullivan. And we also at the ISS at the time criticized the personal involvement of McBride. I mean, there's nothing wrong to use information provided by someone like McBride, but to actively involve him in the investigation is something we criticized at the ISS as well. Now, apparently the Minister is referring to this among a number of other issues as reasons why he thinks McBride is not fit for office. On the other hand, McBride has shown at least 24 investigations against very, very senior police officers, right up to the office of the current National Commissioner of Police. So we have two sides to this story, and you know, one gets the feeling that we still don't have the truth, the real story behind the situation that's developed to what we now have with a non-renewal of that contract and the arrest of Phahlane. So I think, you know, the public has a right to know precisely what has happened. We have a right to all the information that is available, both by the Minister and by IPID, so that we can decide what we believe and what we don't.
All right, Dr. Burger, we're going to have to leave it there, but it's clear that this story certainly has quite a way to go, and I suspect we'll be having another conversation about this quite soon. Dr. Burger, thanks very much for your time.